especially when you try going quick from being out wide, it really struggles to catch up with you sometimes. It seems okay there. I'll try my best to avoid it happening, but like, again, like if I'm out wide here, trying to get like it'll focus on the middle of the pitch. So I need to, if the players are out wide, zoom in to get on them so that they're not blurred as fuck.
Good evening everyone and welcome to Highbury Stadium, the home of League One Fleetwood Town, for today's final first team pre-season fixture ahead of the 2021-2022 Sky Bet Championship season. Delighted to have you along for the ride on YouTube again this evening. Thanks for tuning on HTTV all pre-season. We've been delighted to be able to bring the games to you. Thank you to our colleagues from Proper Digital as well for allowing us to do that again for another pre-season. Certainly hope you've enjoyed watching Town in action in the previous fixtures. We are about 10 minutes away from kick-off against the Sky Bet League One side this evening, and the teams are just finishing the warm-ups on the pitch now. We will quickly go through the team sheets. We'll start off with Town's selection. We are expecting to see pretty much every player that's in this travelling squad tonight, and there are a few returns following injury and illness to tell you about, but those on the bench, and it's a pretty strong looking bench. We'd expect to see some minutes in the second half. Of course, many of those players and many of the players on display tonight should be in action when Town's competitive action gets underway on Sunday with the Carabao Cup round one game at Sheffield Wednesday. In goal tonight, number 31 Ryan Schofield gets the start. There's a welcome return for Pippa at right back, who's obviously been a little bit delayed through a few bumps and bruises in pre-season, so he gets his first start of pre-season this evening. Next to him at centre half will be Romany Critchlow and Naby Sarr. Naby back from the small back problem that kept him out at Norwich on Friday. And at left back is going to be Josh Ruffles. The midfield three has a young look to it for sure. Brahima Diarra, who I know is a player we've talked about lots in pre-season. The exciting 18-year-old Frenchman lines up in midfield. Josh Osterfield, the number 33, we expect to play the anchoring 6 role. He made his debut last season in the Championship for Town and in the Carabao Cup as well. And the other midfielder is Reece Brown, who has equally recovered or is allowed to be involved again following his contact trace as per the COVID protocols fairly recently. The front three has a strong look to it. Josh Karoma on the left-hand side. Obviously, Josh needing more minutes in the bank after that track and trace that he had that we returned from Norwich last Friday. The striker and captain tonight is Jordan Rhodes, the Town's new returning number 9. And on the right side is Sorba Thomas, who's been another one of the players to really impress during pre-season. Substitutes tonight, again, have a strong look to it. Lee Nichols, the goalkeeper. Second keeper here as well tonight, Nick Bilokovic, the young 18-year-old Australian from the academy, expecting to operate as the sub in the second half when Lee Nichols is introduced. Harry Toffolo, Matty Pearson, Alex Vallejo makes a return as well after his own little injury that kept him out at Norwich at the weekend. He's currently running up and down the pitch with Josh Snowden, one of our fitness coaches. Jonathan Hogg, Lewis O'Brien, Scott Hyde, Dwayne Holmes, Ollie Turton, Danny Ward, Levi Colwill and Ben Jackson are the other substitutes tonight. Running through the Fleetwood side very quickly, and there are a few familiar names among the Fleetwood squad, none less the manager Simon Grayson, who of course led Town to the 2012 League One promotion at Wembley, so good to see Simon again this evening in League One. There's no one better at getting teams out of League One for sure, so Simon in good spirits pre-match as well. Good to see him again tonight. The team lineup for Fleetwood Town this evening: number 1 Alex Cairns, the former Leeds United youth team player, has been here for a good 4 or 5 years now. Cairns is a regular number 1. Brad Halliday, the former Middlesbrough man. Danny Andrews, a pretty well-travelled left-back, but he's been at Fleetwood for a little while now. Tom Clark is among the players to start for Fleetwood tonight. Obviously, the former Town Academy graduate who played for a long time at the club. Joined Fleetwood this summer after being released by Salford City. And good to see Tom. He looks in good nick at 33 years old. Good to see him tonight. Paddy Lane is their number 12. He's another summer recruit from Hyde United, and he's a player that's played quite a few times against Town's academy sides for Hyde over the years. Really direct winger, so look out for the blonde-haired number 12. Number 16, the captain, Jordan Rossiter, the former Rangers and Liverpool man. Harrison Holgate, the number 18, is centre-back. Jed Garner, 19, is a striker. Jay Matete is a midfielder, all through the Fleetwood Academy, these guys. Number 22, Shaden Morris, is a winger. And number 28, Max Clark, is a defender who signed this summer from Vitesse Arnhem, former Hull City player. Subs for Fleetwood: 13, Billy Crellin, the backup goalkeeper. They've got quite a few Northern Irish young players here at Fleetwood, and 3 of them are on the bench tonight. Dylan Boyle, Carl Johnston and Barry Bagley are all midfielders. Callum Morton, the number 9, has just signed for Fleetwood today actually. He's come on loan from West Bromwich Albion. He had a really good loan spell at Lincoln City and a previous one at Northampton Town. He's a good player, Morton, at this level, so one to look out for. Number 10, Chris Con Clark. 14, Max McMillan. 15, Cheek Tiam. 23, James Hill, and those of us of a certain vintage, and I include myself in this, will remember his dad Matt Hill playing a lot of games, mostly for Bristol City during his career. And number 27, Harrison Biggins. Referee tonight is Mr. Oldham, who again is a well-experienced player at this level. Town in the navy kit this evening as well, I should say, so That will be on sale very shortly. Just a reminder that the stadium store will reopen on Wednesday. It's gone under a big refurbishment ahead of the return of fans, and had a little sneak peek in there today. It's fully Huddersfield Town now, so the Giants' presence no longer in that shop, so it's more floor space for you Town fans, and I think you'll really like what we've done with the place, if I do say so myself. It's a lot more space, it looks good. It's one of a few changes that hopefully you'll see when you return to the John Smith Stadium this coming season. Just waiting for the teams to emerge from the tunnel at Fleetwood here. You see it looks like Danny Ward and I believe Matty Pearson sat in the away dugout, which is to the right of the tunnel. Dane Murphy, one of Town's kit team, just in the mouth of the tunnel there. Really nice stand across from the camera position here at Highbury. It's a ground I've been to twice, and I'm sure a few of you have been to in the past for pre-season friendlies. It's good to see Town fans back out in force again this evening. It's a good hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes to Fleetwood from Huddersfield. Hasn't stopped, and the rain hasn't stopped quite a few fans from making the journey. There's a standing contingent in the Percy Ronson stand behind the goal, and then the seated area to the right of the stand opposite to where we are here in the gantry is also Town fans in the blue and white stripes. Thank you so much for travelling across to see us this evening. Just a reminder, season cards are still on sale from the Town ticket office, so please visit htafc.com/tickets for all the info if you want to get one yourself still. There is time, and the sooner you do it, the better the seat you will get. Alternatively, if you want to phone and speak to someone, the ticket office is open during open hours. You can get hold of them on 01484 960 606. We've seen as well that plenty are getting your pre-ordered home kits. There's certainly a few on display here at Highbury tonight as well, so thank you for your support of that. Reaction to that seems to be really, really good, as it was when we released it. So again, to do my sales plug, is still available on shop.htafc.com. Just a quick note on streaming ahead of the new season as well. Obviously, during the troubles of the pandemic, I Follow HTFC, the subscription service available via the main club website, has carried the games. The information we've had from the EFL is that relationship will go back to the original Sky deal now that fans are being allowed back in the ground. So I had a couple of questions on this, but basically means that domestic games on the weekend can't be streamed domestically, is the long and short of it. So, for example, the Carabao Cup game at Sheffield Wednesday this weekend, we cannot stream domestically. That is, as per the broadcast agreement with Sky Sports, there's nothing the club can do about it, I'm afraid, other than give our opinion on what should happen over the coming years. I suspect that over the course of the season there will be some midweek games that can be streamed domestically, as per the arrangement with Sky. What I would always say is please check hjfc.com and the club's social media channels, and we'll let you know ahead of every game whether it's possible to watch it live domestically. Slightly different setup if you are watching us from overseas here tonight, and that is quite complicated to explain, but basically if we're not being selected by your broadcaster, then there is a possibility you can watch us on I Follow HTFC. But for those of you domestic, and that will be most of you I suspect tonight, we are back to the pre-pandemic position on streaming, so nothing on YouTube, that's just not possible, and on I Follow HTFC, weekend games are pretty much a no-no, guys. So we'll keep you informed as the games go as to when it is available to subscribe to on HGTV. But and we certainly expect to do a few academy streams for you this season. The academy have got a few interesting games coming up. The Clarets Cup, always a competition we put a lot of emphasis on here. So we get the under-18s, under-17s, should I say, sorry, play against their peers. We'll look to stream those for sure. And the Premier League Cup as well. Town have got the B team has got their first draw in the Premier League Cup, hopefully not the last, away at Oxford United. We'll play at Tame United's ground on the 18th of August. We'll certainly look to do something around that too. So we'll cover more details as and when possible on htfc.com always. Just seeing the Town subs come out and sit among the on the pretty small bench behind the just next to the dugout there. That's Town's lead performance man Paul Bauer that's just come out of the tunnel, just clapping his hands there. If you probably saw, Callum Walsh left for Newcastle United in the summer, and Callum was a really well liked figure at Town. We wish him all the best at his new Premier League club. Paul's a pretty long serving member of staff at Town. He was the academy physical lead for some time, and he's stepped up to work with the first team now in Callum's departure. Good Yorkshire man Paul Bauer. Paul Clements, of course, Town's had a goalkeeping, just heading out to the right-hand side. Really interesting. See, you will get the nod in between the sticks this year for Town. The league campaign gets underway at Derby County on the 7th of August. Both Ryan Schofield and Lee Nichols have turned in pretty impressive pre-season performances in my books. Lee has probably played more minutes so far. Ryan obviously didn't play against Harrogate in Town's first pre-season friendly, so it just had a little knock that we had to look after that day. Again, Town's other sub goalkeeper tonight is Nick Belokovic. If you haven't seen Nick, he's been with us for about a year now, I think. He joined from Sydney United 58. Played for Australia under 21s. That's where Paul Clements actually saw him. If those of you that don't know, Paul's son Nathan Wood, who's a centre-back at Middlesbrough, played against Australia for England, and that's where Paul first saw Nick Belokovic. Nick was at Sydney United. He does have a European passport. He's got Croatian heritage, hence his last name, Belokovic. And he's involved with the first team tonight, Nick. Really promising 18-year-old. You see him in person, you wouldn't think he's 18. He's got a hell of a stature. Learning his trade, Nick. He played in the Youth Cup team last season that was so unlucky to lose to Newcastle United on penalties on the evening. Just getting an announcement there from the man on the Fleetwood PA that we're almost ready to go. You can see the referees in the tunnel again tonight, just waiting for the teams to assemble behind him. Been a productive week at Canalside for Carlos Corberan and his first team squad. Since returning from Norwich, that camp in Colchester, then just migrated slightly to Norwich, to Norfolk. Town defeated 2-0 by the Premier League new boys on Friday. I thought, for those of you that watched, form your own opinions, but I thought Town were unlucky to lose 2-0 on that day. I thought they more than matched their hosts for good periods of that game. Could have easily scored. Harry Toffolo, I think Josh Karoma, Scott High was really impressive on the afternoon, but all missed really presentable chances to put Town level after Timo Pukki had put us behind, but it wasn't to be. Still plenty to be encouraged about the performance. Here come the teams, and the pretty decent crowd here tonight, full of the Cod Army and the Terriers rise to their feet to welcome the two sides onto the pitch. If you are just joining us, thanks for tuning in on HTTV. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. There's plenty of content other than the games throughout the season. We're sure you'll enjoy it. A lot of work goes into that, so if you click subscribe, you'll certainly be the first to find out exactly what's going on there. No handshake tonight, of course, under COVID protocols. Try and minimise the contact wherever possible. Town's players just go and acknowledge the good travelling contingent here at Fleetwood this evening. Great to see Pippa back as well with the newly bleached hair at that right back position. Just had a slight knee complaint in pre-season, just had to be careful with him. Did return late in any case because he did have extended action with Spain's under-21 side at the closed season, so just had to look after Pippa a little bit. He is back tonight. It's good to see him back in the lineup. Really popular player after a pretty impressive first year in Town colours, particularly the first 6 months when the team was in its pomp. Fantastic music selection at Fleetwood tonight as well. If you like Northern Soul, come to Fleetwood Town. That's what I've learned this evening. Romany Critchlow at centre-half with Naby Sarr tonight, of course. Romany, an academy graduate, signed from Enfield Borough as a 15-year-old. Romany, he's from London, played senior football at, I think it was at 8th or 9th tier level with Enfield as a young teenager, snapped up by Town, came here as a left-back, has subsequently played as a centre-half. Pretty unusually tonight, Town have got two left-footed centre-backs, so Naby Sarr and Romany Critchlow both left-siders. Romany's going to start on the right tonight, though, for sure. It's going to be Town that get us underway, and the skipper, Jordan Rhodes, as well. Searching for his first goal since returning to the club. Definitely eager to get it, Jordan. Really learned some skills while he's been away from Town when he left in 2011. He's got a lot of know-how as a striker now, wins free kicks. Probably the best proponent of that in English football right now is Harry Kane. You see him positioning his body cleverly to draw fouls. You see Jordan do some of that these days as well. Just waiting for Mr. Oldham to blow his whistle, and we are underway here at Highbury. And it's Josh Osterfield, the Town midfielder, gets his first touch tonight. And here's Naby Sarr back from that back complaint that he had that kept him out at Norwich on Friday. And it's Pippa's first touch of pre-season. Gets a little ripple of applause there from the Town fans. Fleetwood quite happy to let Town have it in this position at the moment. Simon Grayson, of course, a very wily manager, one of the most successful ever at League One, you would say, and knows exactly how to set up a team. Josh Ruffles, nice feet there right under the camera position. Here's Brahima Diarra, who spreads play right to Pippa. Pippa steps past his man and just gets a little tug on the shirt there from Paddy Lane, the winger, so it's a free kick to Town just inside the Fleetwood half. And there's Reece Brown with his first touch in a little while, played against Harrogate Reece, then had that contact trace. after a successful loan at League One Peterborough, as Peterborough gained promotion to the Championship last season, played pretty much every minute. Reese. Here's Josh Ruffles. Just goes inside. Town happy to keep the ball in these early stages. Hyde just keeping an eye on Josh Osterfield, interestingly. Here's Osterfield, the academy graduate from Driglington, I believe, initially. Is Josh, so he's a West Yorkshire boy. Here he is, just drives forward, thinks about giving it to Ruffles, but just pops it back to Naby Sarr. Romney Critchlow rolls it into Pippa, who just steps past Paddy Lane again there, Pippa, and goes over halfway, drives through, and Lane brings him down for a second time in pretty quick succession there. Pippa not best pleased about that, but Town are going to get the ball back from this free kick, and Reese Brown gets us back underway here. Good to see Pippa back on the pitch again in the attractive new navy chain strip that we're in here tonight. Naby Sarr just misreads the intentions from Josh Ruffles there. He expected a little forward run, and Josh instead just held his position, so it's a first real time Fleetwood can get a hand or a foot on the ball here, and it's Halliday, I think, that's going to take the throw in. Goes in, Josh Osterfield hounding Jed Garner, the striker there, and the ball hits the commentary position right next to us. If you hear that big bang, wouldn't be surprised if it knocks us off the commentary position here at some point tonight. It's pretty high up here at Fleetwood, but we've survived so far. Throw into Town, that was a straight clearance from the Fleetwood right back, just waiting for a ball because that one's gone into the estate behind the stand. It's Josh Ruffles here. Chant for Jordan Rhodes goes up from the travelling support behind Ryan Schofield's goal here, and it's Romney Critchlow who drives the ball towards halfway. Lots of the ball for Town here in this early stages, but Fleetwood keeping a good shape behind it, and Town just cycling the ball here in their own defensive third. Naby Sarr just put under good pressure there from Shaden Morris, and he has to go back to Ryan Schofield. I think it's Ryan's first touch this evening. One thing you won't see, because it happens at the training ground every day, but how much of an influence Naby Sarr is on Brahima Diarra and the other French boys we have in the academy. Just break off here, because that's a great break forward from Pippa. Good ball into Sorba Thomas here. Sorba's got men in the box. He plays an early ball towards Rhodes, but it's cleared by centre-back Harrison Holgate. Lovely play from Pippa, though, to break past the Fleetwood midfield there. And Fleetwood clear it to Paddy Lane. Reese Brown, good contact there on Lane, but it's fallen to Jay Matete, I think that was, in midfield. And now it's Fleetwood spread it right to Shaden Morris, who's going to have a first chance to run at Josh Ruffles. And Josh Karoma gets back well there. Good defending from Josh, but it's a first corner of the game to Fleetwood Town here on the Town left-hand side. Good covering from Josh Karoma there, but bright play from Morris, the Fleetwood Academy graduate. Just going back to that point, Naby Sarr, obviously a Senegalese international footballer, but comes from Paris, French speaker. Brahima Diarra, Etienne Kamara, Loic Aina are all French lads in the academy. Naby spends a lot of time speaking to these guys, mentoring them a little bit. It's something you don't see behind the scene. Really nice man, Naby Sarr. We do need him to clear this corner. It goes to the back post, and that's headed, I believe, by Romney Critchlow, and then I think it hits Tom Clark, actually, and goes behind for a goal kick. So Tom's sporting a new shaven head look since I last saw him, and he looks pretty menacing, actually. Tom, he's not the biggest centre-half in the world, but he's got a great physical stature to him these days, you have to say. Veteran now, 33 years old. This Fleetwood have actually signed Anthony Pilkington this week as well from East Bengal, but he's not involved tonight, Anthony, as he gets his feet under the table here. He's 33 as well, if you want to feel old. So slightly scuffed clearance there from Ryan Schofield, who drills one into the floor, and then Shaden Morris puts it right in the bottom corner. What a fantastic finish from the Fleetwood man. Really, really good hit from good 25 yards there from the winger. And he's absolutely capitalised on that poor clearance from Ryan Schofield. And after not too long in the game, 5 minutes, it's Fleetwood Town 1, Huddersfield Town 0. Scuff clearance from Ryan Schofield for sure that presented Morris with the ball, but he still had an awful lot to do. Steadied himself, took aim, wasn't really closed down quickly enough, you have to say, but he just took aim and found the bottom corner with absolute precision. We were right behind that from the commentary position, and you could tell the moment it left his foot that it was going to go right in the bottom corner. Great finish from Morris. After having all the ball, Town found themselves behind. Obviously, results not the be-all and end-all in pre-season, but it would be nice to finish the campaign with a good result, of course. Town, Naby Sarr, Jordan Rhodes couldn't get to that ball there, and Sarr Town do win the ball back, and it's Josh Karoma with his first real touch. He's going to have a chance to run at the right back, and he goes past the man, and then Holgate clatters in to the man, but the right back there, I think it's Morris, actually held. It isn't Morris, I apologise, it's Jay Matete, the midfielder, actually held Josh Karoma there and allowed the centre-half to get to the ball, so it's a free kick to Town. Really good finish from Shaden Morris there. We talked about him. Pretty much he's chasing the ball down here. He's only 19. Morris is a winger. He's done well there. He's forced Ryan Schofield to a pretty quick clearance, and I think he's going to be offside, Morris. No, the referee doesn't give anything, and he does give offside now, actually. He did look offside because when the ball, Pippa's clearance was deflected backwards, Morris had gone to close Schofield down. He's joined from Southend in 2018. Shaden Morris joined the Fleetwood Academy. Made 5 appearances in League Wood for the Cod Army last season. Great ball from Josh Osterfield to Brahima Diarra, who's got him behind Matete. But the midfielder does well just to get back and pull off an important challenge there, because Diarra was looking to slide Jordan Rhodes in. Town get possession back though, and it's Critchlow and Pippa that exchange passes. And Paddy Lane again bounces off the centre half. He's probably toeing a line, Paddy Lane, the Fleetwood winger. Good run there from Jordan Rhodes off camera, but you couldn't see it. Instead, Ruffles comes inside, pops the ball back to Diarra, and it's Naby Sarr, who's had as many touches as anyone so far, who tries to look for Sorba Thomas, and it's a great ball into Sorba Thomas, and the fullback just does enough there. The Fleetwood number 28, that's Max Clark, the new signing from Vitesse Arnhem, former Hull City man. Looks like Fleetwood are playing a back 5 tonight, actually, so Clark playing at left back, and I think Danny Andrew is a left back by trade, might be the left hand side of the centre back 3. I'm just going to see that. The numbers are imminently clear to me up in the commentary position at the moment. Loose pass from Naby Sarr there is going to present Fleetwood with a throw in just inside their own half. It's Brad Halliday to take it, the experienced right back. Naby Sarr just drives, and now Sorba Thomas forces a clearance forward, and Josh Ruffles could have probably let that run, but he's decided to take it. He's actually done pretty well there, Josh, although his clearance has gone straight to Matete, and it's a good layoff to Garner, the striker, Jed Garner, who tries to go back to Matete, but Brahima Diarra gets the interception. Fleetwood with the ball back with Tom Clark, and here's Danny Andrew. It is Andrew at the left side of the centre-back 3, and he goes to the other Clark, Max Clark. Danny Andrew just checks with Diarra, putting him under pressure, and now here is Alex Cairns, who drives the ball forward. Romany Critchlow right up the back of Jed Garner, but he does well, just chests the ball down to Paddy Lane, and Fleetwood with the first real spell of possession here, you have to say, despite the fact they are leading 1-0 through that Shaden Morris strike. Good passing here between the midfield and strikers. Now it's drilled out towards Shaden Morris, the goal scorer. Morris has got support from Halliday, the right back, but it's gone backwards to Harrison Holgate, the centre back. Here is Holgate. H is the call, obviously his nickname. And Jay Matete, just slightly loose touch for a second that kept Diarra interested, but Fleetwood with a good spell of possession here. And Tom Clark now looks to spread the ball left, and it's Pippa will challenge with Lane. Lane wins the header, but Romany Critchlow well positioned to win the ball back for Town. Josh Osterfield just has to calm things down here a little bit. Town's midfield have a really young look to it today. Reece Brown, obviously a relatively experienced campaigner next to Josh Osterfield and Brahima Diarra tonight. A lot of Town's teenier players are on the bench this evening. We're expecting to see them for the final half hour of the game, and Josh Osterfield has his heels clipped there by the midfield, and Jay Matete, the midfielder, just gone down for Fleetwood here momentarily, so he may need a bit of treatment. It was Jordan Rossiter that fouled Josh Osterfield there, the Fleetwood captain. Been largely all Town in terms of possession so far, but we do trail 1-0 because of that Shaden Morris excellent long-range hit after 5 minutes. Still plenty of football to be played here on the West Coast. Seagulls ahead, above the ground. He's pretty close to the coast here. For those who haven't been to Fleetwood before might not know where Fleetwood is. It's pretty close to Blackpool, in layman's terms. Just while we've got a break in play here, Carlos Corbran and the coaching team just getting the team over to have some words with them. Just a reminder, this Navy kit, Town of Sporting tonight, is on sale tomorrow, so online at 9 AM and in the newly reopened stadium store at 10 AM as well. Thanks to our retail manager Luke Cowan for confirming that for me. So no pre-orders for this kit, just straight on sale tomorrow in the store. If you haven't seen the kits and you have the opportunity to do so, please have a venture down to the stadium store. I think you'll like it, but also you get to have a proper look at the two beautiful kits we've got out so far, the blue and white stripes and this navy alternative kit. Matete is still on the floor here, unfortunately, so it's still a break in play. A chant of Michael Heffler goes up in the away end. Obviously, if you haven't seen the news, I suspect you have. Heff back at the club. Sadly had to hang up his boots. Only 30 years old, Heff, but the combination of an Achilles problem and a knee problem have meant that it's not possible to play at the level that we all know he can anymore. Taking the decision to call it a day. Rejoined town this week in a bit of a hybrid role, one specially created for him. Coaching with the academy, a bit of mentoring with the young players. Also a lot of fan engagement stuff as well. So we're working with the commercial team, with me, the marketing and communications guys, and then also with our foundation, with our other community initiatives as well. So you'll see plenty of Heff. He'll be around on a match day as well. I know he cannot wait to see town fans again. He's had a lovely reception from supporters upon his return. I can't tell, well, I'll let him tell you this, but it's meant a lot to Michael over the last 2 days, spending a lot of time with him. He's been really touched by that. And here's Diarra as we get underway, who tries to poke the ball inside for Josh Karoma and wins his side, a throw-in off Holgate, the centre-back. If you haven't seen Brahima Diarra so far in the town colours, hopefully I've killed him there, because he just got his pass a little bit wrong as he tried to return the ball to Josh Ruffles. But he is a talented player. He's just gone 18 this month, Brahima. He's from Paris, joined town 2 years ago as a 16-year-old. Capable of some really special stuff, Brahima. It'd be great to see him really turn it on and make an impact at first team level. He's still young in his career, of course, but throwing down the line, and Garner and Sarr contend for it, and Town have the ball back, and it's Critchlow back to Ryan Schofield. Fleetwood pressing with a 3 here when Town are in possession. The wingers Matete and Lane coming really narrow alongside Jed Garner, the striker, and that's a poor pass from Naby Sarr, who's played Reece Brown into all sorts of trouble. And now Paddy Lane, the wingers, trying to go down the line. He's picked a good cross out, and Sarr redeems himself because that's an important header. And Brahima just drops it back to him. He's under pressure here, Naby, and he very coolly turns back to Ryan Schofield, and Ryan completes the clearance, although Halliday, the right back, will win it. Josh Osterfield just sells his man a shoulder. Good player there from Josh, and don't really know what's going on here now. The referee stopped play, and I think Paddy Lane just fell over when he took the cross and landed on his back, and bizarrely the referee stopped play because Lane's on his feet, absolutely fine to continue. No harm done, I suppose. We are back underway here with Town in possession. Sarr's played a couple of loose passes so far. Of course, he will be a bit rusty. Missed a bit of time on the training pitch with that back complaint, so this is what pre-season's for. Let's get these details ironed out and get back to full standards for Sheffield Wednesday on Sunday. Tickets on sale for Sheffield Wednesday. What a ball that is from Romney Critchlow, but Andrew cuts it out, only as far as Diarra. Diarra loops the ball into Karoma's path. Karoma flicks it back to Ruffles. Ruffles shoots. The ball's moving all over the shop there as Josh shoots, and Cairns has to kind of pat it down into the floor. It's a save he should make, but you could see the ball wobbling as Josh Ruffles hit that one. And first attempt on target for the Terriers here tonight. Josh Ruffles, a real source of goals for Oxford over his last few seasons. He is good in the air, Josh, as well, so you will see him score some headers, I'm sure, this season. But that was a good effort there from Josh from range. Lane wins the header ahead of Pippa, and then Critchlow steps out and just loops the ball into the air towards Brahima Diarra. Diarra, good strength there, chested it down, but Tom Clark clears the second one. Hints of offside there as on Garner as Critchlow won the header, but assistant referee not interested. So Fleetwood in possession, and it's popped back to Danny Andrew. Andrew put under pressure from Diarra there, and Fleetwood do well to get the ball out of that corner back to Cairns. And now here's Tom Clark, the former Town man. Town now pressing with Karoma. It's chipped towards Shaden Morris, and Sarr takes no chances, loops it back to Brahima Diarra. Diarra turns goalwards, and Drillers drives forward, finds Karoma inside the area. Here's Josh Karoma, where he's so dangerous, tries to shoot. It's a good block from Brad Halliday, the right back there. He had good cover from Holgate, his centre-half colleague too, but that's where you want to see Josh Karoma on the ball, just inside the penalty area, trying to bend the ball home with that right foot, as we've seen him do so many times. Town are starting to create some stuff here now, as in the last few minutes through Ruffles and then Karoma. Brahima Diarra playing as an advanced central midfielder tonight, as starting to get behind the Fleetwood back line here, or the midfield I should say, sorry, and pull the strings a little bit. Here's Naby Sarr looking for a pass through the middle of the pitch, looking for Jordan Rhodes, but Fleetwood have kept a really high line here, and Tom Clark's going to follow Jordan Rhodes home tonight, I think. But here is Jordan, it's played in. Tom Clark just shepherds him off the ball, and Holgate goes back to Cairns, the 28-year-old. Really compressing the middle of the pitch here, Fleetwood. Sure, they're expecting Town to have lots of the ball tonight. Lane wins another header ahead of, in fact it isn't Lane, forgive me, it's Max Clark, the left back, wins the header ahead of Pippa. There's going to be a substitute early doors here, I think, for Fleetwood. It is Matete, the man who was injured earlier on in the piece, that they're not going to take any chances on, completely understandable. So Harrison Biggins is going to come onto the pitch. A player I've seen play against Town's B team a couple of times last season, Harrison Biggins, number 27. Midfielder 25 now, Harrison Biggins. He was a Barnsley youth team player, but in fact here's Lane again. We'll just break off because he's got down the left momentarily, but Clark works it back to, wow, Danny Andrew absolutely slaps it at Paddy Lane, and Pippa clears it out a little bit, and then it's a looping effort from Jordan Rossiter over the bar. Yeah, just a bit on the new sub for Fleetwood there. It's Harrison Biggins, 25-year-old central midfielder, was in Barnsley's academy. Ended up at Stocksbridge Park Steels, the non-league side near Sheffield. It's famous for giving Jamie Vardy a chance after his release by Sheffield Wednesday. Joined in 2017, joined Fleetwood, and had a loan last season in League Two at Barrow. Good player, Biggins. Town under pressure here now from Fleetwood's pretty aggressive press, and that pass from Pippa to Critchlow just put him under pressure. Critchlow finds Reece Brown, but good press there from Fleetwood, and Pippa needs to play out of this press now, come to the left of the pitch, and Critchlow does that through Ryan Schofield. Ryan clears it forward on his left foot towards Reece Brown, and Reece just eases Jordan Rossiter under the ball. Good play there, and Pippa and Jordan Rhodes exchange passes. Jordan manages to hook that ball down the line towards Sorba Thomas, but Sorba's got two men for company and relinquishes possession momentarily. Pippa with a header from that looped clearance, and Critchlow misses the ball there and just takes Garner down, so it's going to be a free kick to Fleetwood, just to the right of Town's penalty area, about 35 yards out. Good press there from Fleetwood Town, and Town did momentarily play through it, but Sorba Thomas couldn't beat two men there. Tom Clark managed to dispossess him, and now it's Fleetwood in a good position. It's Max Clark over this free kick, the left back. Really interesting career path, Clark. He was at Hull City as a young player. Didn't establish himself in Hull's first team, so he left. He played for Cambridge United on loan while at Hull, then ended up at Vitesse Arnhem in Holland. Played a lot there, played in the Europa League, and he's now a Fleetwood Town player. He's gone deep to the far post towards Tom Clark, who's marked by Brahima Diarra there, which seems like a bit of a mismatch, but Sorba Thomas wins the ball. Now Thomas sprints away, and he's got Josh Karoma to his left, and he does play the ball straight to Karoma. Karoma's got two defenders to try and take on. He goes onto his left side, Josh Karoma, shoots, and it's the second defender, Holgate, that gets back to deflect the shot wide. Round of applause there from Karoma for the early pass from Sorba Thomas, and Town are going to have some potency on the counter-attack this season, you feel, with the likes of Sorba and Josh Karoma sprinting at defences. Good breakaway there, good defensive work first of all from Sorba Thomas, and then correct decision to give Josh Karoma that ball early. It's a corner to Town on this near side to the camera position here. It's going to be Sorba Thomas to take it. He's been good with his set-piece delivery all pre-season so far, Sorba. Let's see what he can come up with here with quite a few bodies to aim for in the penalty area. Karoma is short if he wants the option, but plenty to aim for. Karoma moves away now. Sorba Thomas towards the back post. Critchlow goes up for it, but Garner, the striker, who is a good aerial presence, does get there first. Reece Brown well positioned to pick up the seconds, Reece, and he does well, finds Brahima Diarra. Diarra tries to step in field and find Osterfield. The ball does get there, and Town going to work this over to this left-hand side now through Pippa. Here's Naby Sarr. He's got Ruffles to his left, and he does give it to Josh. Ruffles has got Halliday for company, so he just goes back to Naby Sarr for a second. Sarr has got Karoma wide of him. Ruffles just come inside for a second there, and Josh is making a forward run now, and now Sarr does try to find Karoma. It's cut out by Morris, the goal scorer. Naby has got Josh Osterfield here, the central midfielder, to work the ball through. Osterfield with a great pass into Sorba Thomas, who's just drifted in field for a second. Good pressure on the ball though from Fleetwood again. Fleetwood's setup looks a lot like Town when we got promoted. We were really solid defensively. Didn't score loads of goals under Simon Grayson Town, but did what was needed to get us out of League One. sure Fleetwood will be hoping he can repeat that feat this season. Romany Critchlow tries to drive the ball towards Josh Ruffles. Halliday wins the header ahead of Ruffles. He's expecting a free kick because Ruffles just cannoned into the back of him, but nothing coming, and Brahima Diarra rather loops the throw into Naby Sarr. Town lots of the ball here again so far, but do trail 1-0 here at Highbury Stadium. Critchlow is just looking for a pass in field for a second, has to go right to Pippa. Pippa jinks his way past Lane, and he tries to clip it into Sorba Thomas. The keeper's going to come for that. Jordan Rhodes was momentarily interested, but it runs through to Alex Cairns. Fleetwood will just use the opportunity to settle down on the ball and get the team up the pitch. Carlos Corberan with a very audible set of instructions to Reece Brown there. Romany Critchlow as well there, wins the first header, and now Sorba Thomas is coming field again. Sorba skips past Danny Andrew momentarily, and it's a good tackle from Sorba Thomas. The referee's going to give a free kick. I'm not having a bean of that. Did slide for sure, but wasn't over the top or overly aggressive, just won the ball. Referee not having any of it, despite Sorba's protestations to the alternative. Thankfully Max Clark's going to be okay. Thomas was almost away there. He did nutmeg Danny Andrew momentarily, but then another defender just covered for him. Really direct player, Sorba Thomas, as we've seen. The former Boreham Wood man joined in January. Had a smattering of appearances in the Championship last season. I suspect we might see more of him this year. Carlos Corberan just waving Brahima Diarra forward there. Basically wants him to be right on the last man to stop that easy pass to Tom Clark. And indeed, Danny Andrew now only looking forward for this pass. And the ball goes straight into Jordan Rossiter. And then Josh Osterfield straight on his counterpart from Fleetwood. Harrogate steps forward. It's a good touch again from Shaden Morris. He's had a good game so far, the young winger. That's a good bit of play, but Naby Sarr just pokes the ball back towards Ryan Schofield, and Schofield just has to stretch to get there ahead of Morris. Good play from the winger again, who's been Fleetwood's standout player for sure so far. Here's Rossiter. Goes back to Tom Clark, and Brahima Diarra again is going to go and pressure Tom Clark. And Jordan Rhodes makes Holgate go back to the goalkeeper. Cairns drives forward left-footed. It's a good kick forward towards Max Clark, actually, who has time to chest the ball down. And Rossiter is going to look for Halliday, the overlapping right-back, and good positioning there from Josh Ruffles to win that first header. And now Naby Sarr. And Ruffles find Koroma. Koroma's got Diarra inside. Now Diarra waits for Koroma's return run and gives the winger the ball back. But it's a poor first touch, and Tom Clark's able to step in. It's a good ball forward from Tom. But this time the touch from Morris is not good, and Josh Osterfield gets the ball back. Osterfield, I think, was looking for Sorba Thomas, has to go to Reece Brown to his right, and now Brown finds Pippa striding into the Fleetwood half. Pippa's going to go down the outside, just miscontrols it slightly for a second, and then comes in field instead. He's still got the ball, Pippa, and drifts the pass to Naby Sarr. Every Town player bar Ryan Schofield in Fleetwood's half here. Good pass this time from Sarr out to Josh Ruffles, who's got space on the left. Ruffles with the ball towards Jordan Rhodes, but Clark clears as the ball just goes over his head. Good touch there from Josh Osterfield just to play out of pressure and give it to Romany Critchlow. Here's Naby Sarr again. Town with a spell of pressure here, just forcing Fleetwood into their own half. Josh Osterfield and Sarr just exchange passes. Osterfield, an interesting player if you haven't seen him before. I think probably as close as we have in the squad to Alex Vallejo, to be honest. Tall player. Has played centre-back a little bit for the academy at times, just to try and get him used to those aerial challenges, and he's a ball-playing number 6, really. Not Jonathan Hogg in terms of he's not known for snapping into challenges. That's an area of his game that he is trying to improve. But a real ball player. If you talk about, your coaches talk about receiving the ball on the back foot to open the pitch up, Josh is a poster boy for that kind of play. Naby Sarr just thought about a ball out to Josh Ruffles there for a second, and the ball might still be on, but he's under pressure here from Garner, so he has to go backwards to Ryan Schofield. Really trusted himself there, Naby, and his physical presence to keep the ball away from Garner. The young striker is looking for a pass into Koroma, who came short there, but it wasn't on. Interesting movement up front there as Koroma came short. Diarra ran in behind, and Brahima's all over the pitch trying to free himself up. Ryan Schofield drifts the ball out towards Josh Ruffles, but Halliday does well just to don't know if you can hear some fruity language there from Brad Halliday right below us. If you can, apologies. Good exchange between the linesman and the right back there, to be fair. Can't repeat it. Throw into Garner. Garner's going to try and open the pitch out, but he gets that one totally wrong and presents the ball to Sorba. Thomas just over halfway. Thomas strides forward, shoots low, but it's a bit of a scuffed effort there from Sorba, speculative, and had Cairns interested for a second, but in the end he could just watch the ball roll wide of his right-hand post. Alex Cairns, I think, is the longest serving Fleetwood player in the squad. Joel Coleman is on the books at Fleetwood as a goalkeeping option. I believe Joel has an injury at the moment. Congratulations to him anyways. I believe him and his partner have had twins. Joel, of course, at Town up until 2020, played in the playoff semi-final, the Championship playoff semi-final in 2017, sorry. Romany Critchlow, suggestions he had his arm in the back of Garner there, and he did look like he stuck his arms out, but the referee's not interested, so Town back in possession through Ryan Schofield, and Schofield drives the ball up towards halfway, but it's a poor kick from Ryan in truth, and I think Sorba Thomas was the intended target. Just skids off the wet turf here at Fleetwood. The rain has stopped now, which is good news. Turf is still wet. After pretty torrential downpours most of the way here, I would say. We are 27 minutes in here, if you are just joining us on HGTV. Thanks for tuning in tonight. It is Fleetwood 1, Huddersfield Town 0, unfortunately, at the moment, because Shaden Morris, the number 22, the winger who's just earned that throw-in, scored a fantastic long-range goal after a poor pass from Ryan Schofield. Gave him the ball about 25 yards out in truth, so he still had a lot to do and did it with aplomb. Josh Osterfield, good ball into Jordan Rhodes there. Rhodes tried to find Brahima Diarra, but his layoff just astray, and Fleetwood have the ball back and go all the way back to the goalkeeper, Alex Cairns. Jordan not really been involved so far, you have to say. Cairns has got lucky there because that was a scuffed clearance, but Naby Sarr just giving a good man-on shout there because Morris just behind him. I'm not sure Josh was aware, so it goes back to Ryan Schofield. Town starting to threaten over the last 10 minutes, but nothing that's really, truly tested Cairns so far. Well, Jordan Rhodes having his shirt pulled all over the shot by Tom Clark there, and the referee was watching it, but not interested. And Fleetwood have the ball back again. Brahima Diarra forcing the ball to go back to Alex Cairns again, and Cairns always looking for that drive out to Max Clark, who does have the beating of Pippa in the air, you have to say, the left back, but Pippa doing enough just to make sure the header doesn't go anywhere. It's going to threaten Town at the moment. Fraser Campbell and Rahmani Edmonds-Green not here tonight. They are back with us after those positive COVID tests, and it's good to see them back. Bad pass from Josh Osterfield has given the ball straight to Morris again here, though, and Morris goes on his right foot, and Naby Sarr's done pretty well there, actually, just eased his man wide and blocked the eventual shot. Good play from Morris, though. He's a really direct player, does look to get at defenders whenever he has the opportunity. Sarr's done enough there. Bad pass from Josh Osterfield just presented Fleetwood with another chance to attack. They have won a corner that Max Clark's going to take over on this near side to the camera, which is a pretty tight squeeze for our cameraman here tonight, but doing a fine job. Saw Tom Clark being the target last time. Romany Critchlow is his marker this time. It is driven towards Tom Clark again, and Tom does win the initial header, and that's in a dangerous area, and it's flicked home very cleverly there by, I think that's Garner, the striker, inside the 6-yard box with his back to goal. Really expert stuff there. Tom Clark with the initial header above Romany Critchlow. Just trying to see who it is when he turns towards goal. It is Jed Garner, the striker, and it's a really clever finish from him. Just flicked the ball over his shoulder into the top corner, and that's Fleetwood Town 2, Huddersfield Town 0. Just inside the half-hour mark here. Town with it all to do here, you have to say. Need to up the levels here, particularly defensively. Not good enough there. Clever finish from Garner, the striker, but didn't win the first header there, Town, or the second ball. And that's what will disappoint Carlos Corberan. Obviously a much changed side here tonight, but still high standards, of course, and not meeting them so far. Ryan Schofield with a drifted clearance that Clark will get his head to. Poor ball from Romany Critchlow. Now Town are all at sea at the moment, and Critchlow does well, gets his positioning right to win the second ball, and it's gone straight to Josh Karoma, and Karoma takes it down well and comes inside and then sees Pippa in space on the right and drives forward here. Pippa tries to find Karoma, but Reece Brown will pick it up, and Diarra gets the seconds, and Diarra spreads play out to the left-hand side here for Josh Ruffles. Poor pass forward there from Reece Brown, goes straight to a Fleetwood man. Town in possession here. Lots of possession, Town, but it's Fleetwood with the 2 goals so far, and that's disappointing news for those of us with a blue and white persuasion. That's a good ball from Sarr to Karoma, though. Karoma's got 2 men for company again here, though, with the right wing-back Halliday and the right centre-half for Holgate, and it's throw into Town. Ruffles, men in front of him, goes back to Josh Osterfield. Osterfield looking for a pass. There's not an obvious pass on, though, and he has to go to Ruffles tight to the left touchline. Ruffles uses his body well there and finds Karoma. Good play from Josh Ruffles. Reece Brown, under heavy pressure from Jordan Rossiter, just settles on the ball and gives it to Romany Critchlow. Good friends, those two, in the squad, and that's a poor ball from Critchlow again, though, unfortunately, and it's given Fleetwood the ball back, and now good play from Josh Osterfield, and his tackle almost found Josh Karoma, but Holgate gives it straight to Jordan Rhodes, and now Rhodes tries to squeeze the ball in from a really narrow angle, and Cairns gets his angles correct. Holgate almost presented Town with a golden opportunity back in it there. Cairns did pretty well, the goalkeeper, to react and narrow the angle, and Jordan Rhodes wasn't going to do anything but shoot in that situation, and Town give away possession again there. It's a poor layoff from Jordan Rhodes, and now Paddy Lane tries to drive forward. It's actually going to be a free kick right on halfway for Fleetwood, because Josh Osterfield has brought down Jed Garner, the second goal scorer. Referee just having a word with Osterfield. Everyone's fine, so we're going to continue here, and let's pop back to Tom Clark. Good ball forward there from Danny Andrew into Paddy Lane, and Fleetwood good in possession once they managed to get the ball down in the Town half. They've not had loads of possession so far, but that ball's been one they've looked for all the time towards Morris, and it's a good first ball across from Tom Clark, but Halliday, the right back's offside. Just overlapped too early and then kicks the ball out of play, really sportingly. Free kick to Town. Schofield drives the ball forward towards Sorba Thomas. Thomas definitely nudges Clark forward, and it's clever stuff there from Sorba, because he's won his side a throw-in, otherwise it would have been an easy defensive header from the left-back. Town just unsecure with some passes so far, you have to say, and need to just tighten things up. Naby Sarr tries to find Jordan Rhodes with a really long straight one, but pretty easy to defend those, and Rossiter with a very ambitious ball out towards Clark, and it goes straight out of play. Good run from Jordan Rhodes, and he gives Naby a thumbs up there, but for me that's a very difficult ball to execute, a straight long ball. Always Tom Clark being the favourite there. Pippa finds Sorba Thomas with the throw-in, and Critchlow has Naby Sarr over to his left to spread play out to this open side, and does. Sarr strides into the opposition half. Karoma asking for the pass there, but he's tried to drive a diagonal towards Sorba Thomas that wasn't on for me. The full-back was close to Sorba. Naby just apologises to Josh Karoma there for not playing that ball earlier. Town in possession here, and Osterfield and Brown exchange passes, and then Osterfield plays Sarr the pass again. Sarr tries to drift one into Karoma on this occasion. Josh looked like he was getting his shirt pulled by Halliday there, but stayed strong, and now here's Jordan Rhodes in possession, and Halliday bundles him over. That's what I was talking about earlier. Jordan knows when the defender's there and how to draw a free kick, and he just waited for the challenge of Halliday before going over. Halliday doesn't like it, but he's Jordan used his experience to good effect there, so it's a free kick to Town in a decent position here, just outside the Fleetwood area to the left side as Town attack. Naby Sarr an obvious target for a ball into the box here. Ruffles in there too, Critchlow, Brima Diarra, who can jump more than you would think considering his pretty modest stature. Not loads of targets though for Town here. It has to be a good delivery, and Karoma runs over it, and then Thomas with a great ball into the box, but the first contact is a Fleetwood man. Fleetwood hook the ball clear, and it's Pippa as the last man who takes no chances, just hooks the ball back towards the area, and Reece Brown ensures that the defensive header has to come, but Fleetwood have done pretty well there and managed to keep hold of the ball, and Clark just knocks it into Lane, the winger, the former Hyde man, and it's good tracking back from Brima Diarra there to make Lane check back into his own half. Fleetwood keep it though and move it out to the right-handed centre half of the three, Holgate. Holgate finds Morris again. Morris with Toffolo in close attendance has to go back, and now it's good play here as Halliday, the right back's gone right in field. He's got a player across to the left here, Clark, but it wasn't a greatly executed pass there from Halliday, but Clark drops back and picks it up, and the ball into the box, and it's knocked down by Garner, and it's a good presentable chance there for Halliday, the right back, who'd stayed in the centre of the pitch, but it was the shot of a right back, you have to say, and he never looked comfortable trying to strike that side-footed volley. The ball drifts into the Town fans behind the goal. And Schofield's going to wave the men forward here. No short pass on, so he just sends his men forward. And Ryan drives the ball long towards Jordan Rhodes, who has Tom Clark for company. Jordan and Tom contest the header, and Fleetwood come away with it, and it's knocked into the path of Morris as well, the danger man, who does go on to his preferred right. He's going to try and go around Josh Ruffles here. It's good play from Morris again, fantastic ball, and Pippa has to turn it behind for a corner. Really good play again from Shaden Morris, the young winger. Been a standout player on the pitch this half for sure. Got a fantastic goal and has been a threat every time he's managed to bring the ball down and drive at Town's defence. Really good stuff there from the young man. Short corner taken into Lane here, and Lane goes back to Halliday, the deepest man on the pitch, and he's got Reece Brown for company, and Romney Critchlow is allowed to head that ball away. Reece wins the first header, but by that point, Biggins, the substitute who came on in the first half, is there to pick up the seconds. Town struggling to really get hold of the ball and create a chance after that second goal, and Garner tries to get in behind Critchlow. Bizarre award of the free kick there, given that Town were back in possession, but get it underway quickly, and here's Josh Osterfield who strides forward. Osterfield drives forward and gives it to Brahima Diarra. Diarra's got Ruffles on his outside and just plays the ball behind Josh there, unfortunately, so has to be recycled back to Osterfield. Critchlow and Sarr, the centre-backs in the Town half, and Naby is the shout, and Josh Ruffles does get it after that shout, so he's got Karoma for company, but Karoma was never quite ready for that, and Holgate nips in ahead of him and kicks the ball dead for a throw into Town on this near side. Here's Critchlow striding into halfway. Romney made 4 appearances for the first team last season. Pippa with a overhit pass towards Naby Sarr. Sarr has to go back towards his own penalty area to collect it. Schofield and Sarr just exchanging passes here as Town try and move Fleetwood left to right. Schofield just fakes the long one for a second. I think he's going to try and drift this towards Ruffles, but he's got Halliday for company, so it's not a great outlet, to be honest with you. And then Sarr can't stretch, and now it's Jed Garner in behind for a second momentarily for Town. He's going to try and drive into the box on his preferred left foot. He will check onto his left, and he goes backwards, and Brahima Diarra gets an absolute boot for his troubles there. Yeah, he nicks in ahead of, I think that was Rossiter. It wasn't Rossiter, apologies. It was the Rossiter, of course, the captain. That was the number 19, Jed Garner, who was... No, it was Biggins, the substitute, forgive me. Tried to shoot there. Diarra got there first and got a volley in the ankle for his trouble, but he's fine. Brahima made of sturdy stuff. Danger is averted. Schofield waves the men forward here. It is Fleetwood 2, Huddersfield Town 0. If you are just joining us, this much changed Town lineup. Not faring well here this first half. There's had lots of the ball, but not truly tested the goalkeeper yet. Some good last-ditch challenges on Josh Karoma, prevented a clear shot, but Pippa just lets that one run. It's going to be a throw-in to Fleetwood because it did come off the head of Jordan Rhodes. Fleetwood have taken full advantage of their two big chances. Shaden Morris, the winger, with a fantastic finish early on, and then Jed Garner with a clever strike with his back to goal from a corner. Did really well. Town have won the ball there well, though, and it's Reece Brown who steps over halfway. Looking for a pass here. He has got Diarra in front of him if he can find him, but he's looking wide. Bremer still trying to find space, and he just picked the ball up there and gives it back to Brown, and now Diarra's gone inside again. Instead, the ball goes left to Josh Ruffles, the former Oxford man, crosses. He's gone towards Rhodes, which is too deep again, and Clark, the left back, gets clear. But Josh Osterfield puts pressure on there and wins the ball back for his side. And now here is Osterfield, the teenage midfielder. Finds Brahima Diarra with a infield pass. And Diarra with a great pass into Thomas. And this is a chance now. And Thomas's ball is just behind Josh Karoma. Fantastic ball from Brahima Diarra. In fact, the ball's been kept alive here because the clearance ricochets off Josh Ruffles. And it's Cairns on his weaker right foot that has to scoop it towards halfway. Unfortunate there, and it's a good tackle from Brahima Diarra, who stretches and wins the ball. Referee right on top of play there, shakes his head as Fleetwood asks for a free kick. Great pass from Diarra there to set Thomas away behind, but Sorba's ball just behind Josh Karoma at the back post. Such a shame there, good opportunity for Town. Here's Naby Sarr midway into the Fleetwood half, and Critchlow has Pippa on his outside. Here is Pippa, the Spaniard, former Espanyol man, drives it in field, gives it to Osterfield. Osterfield fakes the pass out to Ruffles and instead checks back out to the right to find Reece Brown. Here's Sorba Thomas. Fleetwood now using that trigger to press and try and get the defensive line out, but Town still in possession here as Sorba Thomas drops into his home half. That's a terrible pass from Sorba though, and he's dropped it straight to Paddy Lane, and the winger now can drive forward. And now look at the pace from Sorba Thomas. And Sorba Thomas falls on the ball rather there with Garner in close attendance. Just strode past Garner and made up for his own error there. But Fleetwood still in possession here on the edge of the Town box, and Lane receives a pass just behind him, so Clark has to go backwards to Andrew. Andrew spreads the play out to the right for Holgate. Holgate, good ball in field to Harrison Biggins, a midfielder. Rossiter, the former Rangers man, out to Danny Andrew on the left-hand side, and Sorba Thomas clips Andrew there as he tried to win the ball, but play on as Fleetwood back in possession, and good ball into Andrew here, who's behind the defence momentarily. Clips the ball towards the back stick. Halliday tried to get there, but now Josh Ruffles with an important defensive block, and then Sorba Thomas is tackled well by Danny Andrew to keep the play alive. Here's Rossiter, tries to strike, and Josh Osterfield is accused of dragging on Rossiter's left arm as he looked to shoot. So this is a free kick in a dangerous position here to Fleetwood at the end of the first half. Good pressure there from the League One side. And this is an opportunity to extend that 2-0 lead right at the end of the first half here. 43 minutes on the clock here. It is Fleetwood 2, Huddersfield Town 0. And this is a real opportunity here for a Fleetwood player to take aim. Just looking as to where the referee will mark where the ball should go. We don't seem to have a ball at the moment. In fact, there it is. It's behind Danny Andrew. So Andrew, who's a career left back, is playing left side of a defensive three here tonight. Looks like the most likely to try and strike this on his left. He does. Shoots. And it's a great save from Ryan Schofield, who pushes the ball onto his left-hand post and then gets a bit lucky because it runs across the penalty area and wide. The ball's still alive though, and Critchlow gets a solid header to that cross into the box. Really good save there from Ryan Schofield. That's getting a round of applause from the Town fans behind the goal to keep the score at 2-0. And then that ball forward from Andrew is a bad one, and the ball rolls dead for a goal kick to Town, who have it all to do here on the West Coast if they want to get a positive result after this out of this final pre-season friendly. Again, the result not the be-all and end-all, but it certainly give a good feeling to everyone if we could find a way back into this game. 2-0 it is Fleetwood at the moment on the stroke of half-time. Lee Nichols just getting ready for the second half. We expect to see plenty of Town's senior guys in the second half here. Schofield drives the ball forward towards Jordan Rhodes. He's got Tom Clark right on his back again, and Rhodes wins the first header, but Fleetwood get the second ball with Biggins, and clipped into the channel, and Sarr returns the favour. Diarra wins the first header. That's good there from Bremer, and Holgate volleys it into the crowd. There you go, and it's Ruffles with a really tough ball for Rhodes to... Jordan Rhodes had done really well there, actually. He just chased that ball down and won it back, and he gives a pass into Osterfield, who's deep inside Fleetwood's half here. Osterfield and Reece Brown exchange passes. Here's Osterfield and Brown again. Brown pops it into Brahima Diarra, who's the most advanced of the midfield three. It's a good pass into Sorba Thomas, who's come in field. Sorba into Brahima Diarra again. Diarra checks back onto his left foot. Karoma, it's all very congested here. It's a great pass from Karoma. Pippa tries to drive a low one, but it's really good defending from Max Clark. And before Can can take that corner, that's the end of the first half. And it is Fleetwood Town 2, Huddersfield Town 0 after that first 45 minutes. Not to the standards that I'm sure Carlos Corberan would like that first 45 minutes. So lots of work to do here. Join us again in the second half on YouTube as we play Town's final friendly on the West Coast. Thanks for Hi everyone, welcome back to HGTV in the second half of tonight's friendly between Fleetwood Town and Huddersfield Town. Thanks for joining us again. If you're just joining us, it's not been a good first half from a Town persuasion. We're 2-0 down here at the Sky Bet League One side. Not been of the standards that you would expect for sure. Not expecting too many changes, if any, for the start of this second half. I think we might see some of the guys on the bench tonight around the hour mark. I'm just checking. And it might be that we do have a couple. We'll wait just to settle to see who's here for both teams in this second half. Lee Nichols is one change that we were expecting. We saw him lacing up his boots at the end of the first half. Ryan Schofield getting 45, Lee Nichols getting 45 this evening. Does look like Town are otherwise unchanged for the start of this second half. So if you are just joining us, that's Lee Nichols in goal. Back four of Josh Ruffles, Naby Sarr, Romany Critchlow and Pippa. Midfield three of Josh Osterfield, Reese Brown and Brahima Diarra. And the front three of Josh Karoma, Jordan Rhodes and Sorba Thomas. Goal scorers for Fleetwood, Shaden Morris, who's been really impressive on the right-hand side for the Cod Army. Scored a great goal after 5 minutes from a Fleetwood perspective. Good strike after a poor clearance out by Ryan Schofield. Still had a lot to do. And then Jed Garner, the striker, I believe it was, who flicked a clever finish over for the second from an attacking corner. Town have got it all to do here. Again, want to end this pre-season campaign on a high, of course. We are underway in this second half. Sorba Thomas with the big header there. That does look like a new player actually there. Oh no, it's Paddy Lane, sorry. So the team's obviously switching. Town kicking left to right from your camera position here. Just getting a closer look at some of the Fleetwood players who play on their left-hand side. Paddy Lane's had a haircut since I last saw him. Town just need to move the ball, the ball quicker, you feel, when they're in this kind of area of the pitch at times. Just allowing Fleetwood to get set, and we all know that Simon Grayson's side is pretty good once it gets set defensively. That's a bit quicker there from Sarr out to Ruffles. There's Josh Osterfield, and you see him get on the ball more in that position this second half. He just rolls one out to Pippa, just around halfway. Good to see Pippa back in action tonight. Had a little knee complaint earlier in pre-season and missed a little bit of time, having already reported late because of his Spanish under-21 duty. So important minutes on the pitch here for Pippa this evening. Romany Critchlow's just got to be careful here, and he takes no chances. Volleys forward towards Jordan Rhodes. Good header from Rhodes into Diarra, and Diarra sets Karoma, and the Town fans get excited. Karoma goes into the penalty area. He goes on his left foot this time and forces Cairns into a save. In fact, has it hit the outside of the post there? I think it looked like Cairns had saved it initially, but I think it's hit the outside of the near post there from Josh Karoma in front of the Town fans, and it's going to be a goal kick to the host. Good play there from Town. Rhodes within the initial header into Diarra's path. Diarra wasting no time in finding Karoma, and Karoma getting that shot away. So better from Town at the start of this second half here. Cairns getting an earful from the Town fans behind the goal. Drives the ball over halfway towards Jed Garner. Critchlow is just ridden off the ball by Garner, and Osterfield's well positioned just to roll it back to Lee Nichols for his first touch. Nichols fakes one way and then gives it to Romany Critchlow, who can now stride into space. Critchlow's got Diarra just on halfway, and he does find Brahima, the young Frenchman. Diarra just jinks one way and the other, just sends Harrison Biggins the wrong way, and then it's a poor pass from Brahima, actually, unusually for him. And Josh Osterfield does well there, wins the ball back for his side. Pippa looking for a forward pass. Can't find one. Camera here, Karoma. Sorba Thomas has come in field again, as we've seen him do a few times in pre-season to help Jordan Rhodes in that central area, but no passes forthcoming. Here's Reese Brown, who's just dropped into that right back area to pick up possession. Pippa and Reese Brown find Sorba Thomas. Good play there from Town. Thomas has got plenty of defenders. He goes on the outside of Jordan Rossiter on this occasion, and he's got two men for company here, Sorba, so he'll do well, and he does do well. He digs out across, although it's going to go all the way across the pitch, and Ruffles has to stretch to keep it in. Well done to Josh Karoma, who wins a 50-50 and then goes into the box again. Karoma goes onto his left. He tries to just roll around the challenge, and Jordan Rhodes is alert to it. Here is the popular striker. Diarra into Reese Brown. Brown's got Jordan Rhodes inside. Rhodes comes onto his right. Here's Sorba Thomas. Thomas initially looked for an inside pass to Pippa, but keeps the ball alive. Here's Reece Brown, who goes onto his right foot, Reece, and then tries to shoot, but it's a good block there from, I think that was Max Clark, the left back. Osterfield keeps it alive. He's brought down there by Jed Garner, who doesn't like it, but Osterfield felt the contact, felt the ball rolling away, and just went down under the challenge. So a decent period of sustained pressure here from Town early in the second half. Lee Nichols with a huge shout that you probably can't hear on camera there, but just alerting Reece Brown and Josh Osterfield to the fact that there is a Shaden Morris has stayed upfield. Osterfield's going to be released forward here now because Pippa's recovering to do his defensive work. What can Sorba Thomas do? He's waved on by the referee. Good ball from Sorba again, but it's a good near post win by, I believe, Paddy Lane. Now Karoma rolls onto his right, but he's got that one wrong under pressure, and he sends it into a back garden rather than the back of the net. Round of applause nonetheless from the Town fans behind the goal for a bit of renewed vigour at the start of the second half. Town's players on the bench today, the senior lads you would say, Harry Toffolo, Pearson, Hogg, O'Brien, Holmes, Turton, Ward, Levi Colwill, all went through a pretty rigorous half-time warm-up, so expected to see plenty of them around the hour mark today. Osterfield makes Garner flick the ball forward, and it's back in Town possession again here. Interesting to see Sorba Thomas come more centrally at the start of this second half to make another option with Jordan Rhodes. He's done that pretty successfully throughout pre-season actually, and that's a driven ball by Reece Brown, and now the referee gives it as Jordan picks up possession. Defenders don't like this rule where they have to wait for the attacker to become active in possession of the ball before putting the flag up. Tom Clark just berates the assistant for the lateness of the flag, but that is the ruling, that is what they're instructed to do these days. Cairns with a short one, and Ruffles is alert to it. Ball's scooped towards Shaden Morris, and Nabisar momentarily loses control of that, but he's got it back to Lee Nichols, and Town back in possession again here early in the second half. Diarra's just dropped deep to try and pick the ball up from Nichols, but Nichols plays it safe and goes to Sarr. A Danny Ward chance gone up from the away end as Town striker warms up on that in front of the Town fans on the far side of the pitch. Nichols then drives it forward. It's a bad one from Lee, that one. It's gone too central, and I think he was trying to find Josh Karoma there because he's immediately put his hand up. He's got that one wrong there, Lee Nichols. Not done much wrong in pre-season so far, you have to say. Fleetwood taking no chances here as Cairns just waves his teammates forward, and he's going to take his time and then side volleys the ball forward straight down the heart of the pitch. Good play there from Josh Osterfield, just kept Garner away from that header and just let it run back to Lee Nichols. Osterfield dropping into almost a centre-back three when he's in possession here. Good ball from and good run from Osterfield to pick up that ball from Diarra. Here is Karoma. He's right on the shoulder of the last man again here, Josh, and he switches back onto his right this time, and now it's to Osterfield. Osterfield scuffs his shot horribly there in the end. Diarra wanted that to roll onto him, but good positive play from Osterfield initially to drive forward, pick up the pass from Diarra and find Karoma. Karoma opted to pass this time, but Osterfield got his shot all wrong, unfortunately. Max Clark, the Fleetwood left back, just trying to get his side going here because they've been on the back foot this second half so far, 7 minutes in. Osterfield just barged off the ball there by Garner. Now Ruffles under some severe pressure from Halliday, and Halliday's Sarr and Ruffles get that one wrong. A bit of miscommunication. Now here's Garner who shoots, and Critchlow with the first block. Rossiter shoots, and Nichols was almost behind his line when he made that save then. But he does make the save, low to his left-hand side. Play carried on there with Josh Osterfield on the floor after that initial aerial challenge from Garner, and Josh is going to be okay to continue. Garner just leant into Osterfield as he went to make that aerial challenge. A bit naive there from Josh. You've got to take the contact before you go for the aerial challenge. You just gave Garner the option of easing him underneath the ball, to be honest. See experienced centre-backs do that quite a bit. Toffolo and O'Brien, the big mates in the squad just warming up in front of the Town fans there. Harry Toffolo really enjoying the Lewis O'Brien chant, joining in as he's doing his warm-up. Here's Reece Brown as Town back in possession again. Brown has it again in a little bit of space, and now Osterfield tackled by Rossiter, and it's a throw into Town on this near side. Thomas has come in field again to try and find space. Instead it goes to Diarra, who's found space on the left hand side. He's got Morris for company, rolls the ball into Ruffles. Ruffles has got Reece Brown for company on the left this time. Josh Ruffles made a really interesting infield move there, but he finds Diarra instead. Diarra comes onto his right foot, shoots Bremer Diarra. It's on target, but straight down the throat of Cairns. Bremer finding good pockets of space between the Fleetwood lines, but tame effort in the end, you have to say, just curled into the hands of the custodian. Paddy Lane and Critchlow go for that one. Critchlow with a good win, and Sorba Thomas wins the 50-50 ahead of Tom Clark, and now Diarra rolls it into Karoma. Karoma is, oh well, he's gone down quite easily there, Josh. He did feel the contact, but you could almost see he was waiting for that one, to be honest there, Josh. He checked back onto his right foot and was almost anticipating the challenge, and in the end an obvious one didn't come, so nothing given. But Osterfield drives forward, tries to find Reece Brown, but Paddy Lane's done well just to get a toe on that. Equally, Osterfield does well. Good reaction there from Josh, and he wins the ball back for his side. Now here's Pipper in the attacking third for the first time really this afternoon. He goes onto his left, finds Sorba Thomas, knocks it back to Pipper. Pipper stands the ball up to the back post, but there's three men there, and in the end Halliday is the only Fleetwood defender. It drops onto his toes and he clears behind, but really good interchange there between Sorba Thomas and Pipper. Josh Karoma's making a point that he thinks the referee got that decision wrong. You could see Josh was anticipating that challenge. The defender did leave his foot hanging there, but from our gantry position there wasn't an obvious contact to give the penalty for. I wish he had. Here's Sorba Thomas on the corner. Sorba goes short this time towards Karoma. Karoma's going to drive at his man. He goes onto his right. Good delivery from Karoma, and that's a great defensive header from Danny Andrew, because Jordan Rhodes was right behind that if Andrew hadn't got contact on it. Really good delivery from Josh Karoma once he created that angle. Town really pressurising hard here for a goal that would get them back into this game, this pre-season friendly at Fleetwood Town. Thomas has made his way all the way across the pitch to deliver, and it ain't going to be a short one this time because Karoma's heading to the D. It's a good ball into the box, but Tom Clark wins the initial header. It's going to come back to Sorba Thomas. Thomas delivers again, and it's a flicked header out to Karoma, and Karoma checks back onto his left. He switches onto his right, it's blocked, and it's another corner to Town, who are really applying the pressure here now. Lee Nichols just organising Pipper and Reece Brown here as Shaden Morris stays forward. Town on the attack though. Good to see Naby Saga at the end of one of these, the tallest player on the pitch today by far. Ball delivered in towards the near post, but Jordan Rossiter with a good defensive header. Karoma will pick up the seconds, however, and now here's Sorba Thomas again. And Thomas has got Halliday on his, goes on his outside, tries to drive it low into the box, but it's blocked at the near post again by Rossiter, and it's yet another corner to Town on that far side. What can Thomas do here? Didn't beat the first man on the last occasion, needs to get it over Rossiter at the near post, and ball swung, and he does get it in. It's a good ball again, but Holgate does fantastically well to clear in his own 6-yard box. Some good defending here from Fleetwood, defending their own 6-yard area. Town keep the ball alive though, and it's Sorba Thomas again now on the left hand side, linking up with his fellow winger Karoma. Here is Diarra, just lets the ball run momentarily, and then, well, won the ball, and I think he's caught the Fleetwood man with his trailing leg. I'm going to guess that Rossiter is going to be absolutely fine to continue here. Town with a couple of subs getting ready to come on that far side. Harry Toffolo's just taken his bib off. He's ready and willing to come on. The whole clutch of players. Jonathan Hoggs won. So you're going to see a wholesale set of changes here shortly, I think, from Carlos Corberan. Rossiter is okay to continue as I anticipated. That just relieves that spell of Town pressure there. Fleetwood defended the box well. Fair play to Simon Grayson's men. Cairns out towards Ruffles and Morris, and Ruffles with a solid defensive header there, but returned, and Reece Brown then picks the seconds up, as does Diarra, completes that, but then Austerfield under real pressure there, and Morris does really well to ride the challenge and get down the dead ball line. Brilliant tackle, Nabisar. Fair play to the big centre half. He timed that one perfectly, and he won the ball. It's a good ball forward to Karoma as well, who's allowed to roll in field, and he's tried to find Pippa, but he's got too much on that one. It just goes straight through to Alex Cairns, the goalkeeper. Jordan Rhodes having to make his way across the pitch to force Tom Clark to drive it long, and then Josh Austerfield wins the first header, but it's a little bit of an aimless one into the Fleetwood half. Teams exchanging headers here at the moment, and then Karoma, Ruffles does well to keep that one in, and then Clark at full stretch volleys the ball against Holgate, his centre-half colleague, and it goes out for a throw into Town on this far side. Host of changes imminent here for the Terriers, and we will do our best to keep track of who's coming on and who's coming off. Tend to see they do just let them happen wholesale in pre-season friendlies as opposed to one at a time, which doesn't make it easy to pick at times, but we'll do our best. Here's Pippa on the ball. Finds Sorba Thomas with an infield pass. Thomas fakes the pass to Critchlow, then turns towards goal. He's found Reece Brown. Brown now into Pippa again. Pippa, great ball across the face of goal, but Danny Andrew, the left-sided centre-half, does well. Fleetwood will be making a couple of changes of their own here in a few seconds, actually. The number 23, James Hill, ready to come on amongst 2 or 3 players, I believe. Before that, it's a corner to the Terriers again. About the 5th or 6th this half already. We're only in the 60th minute. Thomas swings one towards the back post, and that's a Jordan Rhodes with the initial header, but cannons off a Fleetwood man, and it's back out with Sorba Thomas again. Thomas, great ball into Ruffles. Ruffles shoots! Good save from Cairns. Lovely little reverse pass from Thomas into Josh Ruffles' feet there. He got the ball out of his feet onto his favoured left foot pretty quickly, and stinging drive that, had it not been directly above Cairns, would have probably gone in, but goalkeeper does enough, just palms it over his own crossbar. It's another Town corner. Thomas with a deep one towards Brahima Diarra on this occasion, and I believe that was Paddy Lane who cleared it behind for yet another corner, and Sorba Thomas is getting his metres in tonight, just running across the full width of the pitch to take corners at the moment. This is incessant pressure from Town, but they've not managed to make one count so far, and that's the important thing. Clutch of Town players on the penalty spot here will break in towards Critchlow at the near post, and this time Rossiter heads it behind. He's saying goal kick, actually. They're saying Romany Critchlow headed it over, who is aghast at that decision, as are the Town fans behind the goal, and that will signal the wholesale changes for the Terriers tonight. It's pretty much everyone coming on that's on the bench. So Lee Nichols already on, of course. In that gaggle of players, I see Harry Toffolo, Matty Pearson, Jonathan Hogg, Dwayne Holmes, Scott High, Lewis O'Brien, I think Ollie Turton as well. What we would describe as Town's senior pack of players based on what we've seen in pre-season so far coming onto the pitch. So it looks like now the lineup will be Nichols in goal, back 4 of Toffolo, Colwill, Pearson and Turton. Midfield 3 of the captain Hogg, Lewis O'Brien and Scott High. Just waiting to see who's staying on. It's Sorba Thomas that's staying on of the outfield players, so he's now going to turn up on the left of the pitch. Danny Ward in the centre and Dwayne Holmes on the right of the attacking 3. Meanwhile, Callum Morton, the new Fleetwood signing, signed on loan today, has come on to play alongside Garner in a front 2 for Fleetwood. I believe Matt Hill has come on as well. Yes, he has. And Tom Clark's evening is over, so Hill has gone into the centre of that defensive 3 for Fleetwood. James Hill, sorry, Matt Hill's his dad, who played a lot of games for Bristol. Levi Colwell with his first contact of the night, as is Danny Ward, who tries to scoop it towards Sorba Thomas, but it just allows Fleetwood to get the ball back. Good defending from Levi Colwell. Love what I've seen of the Chelsea loanee so far. Good ball from Thomas around the corner as well to try and find Toffolo's buccaneering run, but Hill gets there first. Look at the energy from Town's subs. Lewis O'Brien charging in front there. Hogg gets the ball, and now Lewis O'Brien has to go back to Levi Colwill, who can open the pitch out here and does. Matty Pearson gets his first touch, the former Luton man. Good ball into O'Brien. There's a tempo shift immediately here from the Terriers as the subs have come on, and Toffolo picks up that ball and turns it into O'Brien's path. O'Brien thought about crossing, checks backwards, goes to Dwayne Holmes, who's made his way all the way across the pitch. Jonathan Hogg in unfamiliar territory just outside the Fleetwood D. Scott High into Ollie Turton, gets his first touch. High can go to Colwill and does, and now Levi steps forward looking for a pass. Saw him find Lewis O'Brien several occasions in the Norwich game, and that's a poor one from Levi. And well, I get the impression you're not going to run Levi Colwill too much this year. It's going to take a special athlete to get in behind Levi, and he just strolls past Garner to pick up that ball after his initial poor pass. And then O'Brien gives possession to Morton, and Pearson steps in and wins possession momentarily. But Fleetwood on the attack here now through Garner, who just waits for support. Goes back to Rossiter, the captain. Andrew exchanges passes with a man and goes back to Hill. Fleetwood just happy to settle on the ball here now, and that's a ball round the corner, and I think this will be given offside if he does get there. He doesn't in the end, the number 27, Harrison Biggins, so goal kick to Town nonetheless. Colwill was waiting for that offside flag there, I think. Interested to see what we get from this Town 11 for the last half hour of the game. You would say this is probably a decent approximation to the side that might start at Sheffield Wednesday on Sunday in the first round of the Carabao Cup. I am extrapolating, however, in that, but just a feeling with them only playing 30 minutes tonight that they might be being saved for that first competitive game, as Pearson gives it to Scott High. Scott High finds Jonathan Hogg. Lewis O'Brien with a forward run, but Hogg tries to go out to Sorba Thomas and just overcooks the crossfield ball. Fleetwood in no hurry to take this throw in on the far side. Throw in, Matty Pearson wins a 50-50 there into Danny Ward. Ward to Hogg, who first time passes a good one out to Toffolo. Toffolo's got O'Brien for support, and he's got Thomas behind him. O'Brien just shepherds the ball away from the centre-back, now goes into Dwayne Holmes. Holmes thought about a pass, instead goes wide to Turton. Turton's not got a lot of support on this right side, so he just steps in field and goes back to Lewis O'Brien, who's in a pocket of space on the left-hand side. He goes onto his right foot here, and he finds Dwayne Holmes, who's in decent position. He tries to find Turton, and Turton was offside anyway, unfortunately. It was a decent idea. He definitely thought about the shot there, Dwayne, but tried an intricate pass to the right back. Very tight in the midfield, the middle of the pitch, I should say, sorry, there from Fleetwood defending with three centre-backs. Ball thumped forward by the Fleetwood keeper, and Pearson, tell you what, that's really good play there from Garner, and he's got the ball to Morton, who's got Levi Colwill for company. Colwill stands his man up pretty well there and forces the ball out to Halliday. Halliday with a good cross. It's made its way out to number 28, who snuck on the pitch without me seeing him earlier. Oh no, it's Max Clark, the left back, forgive me. So got forward there, Clark, for first real time this evening. Good attacking play there from Garner. He held the ball up really well, Ed Pearson. Fleetwood's turn to try and put some pressure on Town here. They are 2-0 ahead after that first half. Ball into Callum Morton, the striker, with the always has his socks roll low. Callum Morton, saw that when he's been on loan previously at Northampton and at Lincoln City. Real rangy striker. Ball's flicked into Callum Morton. He's offside anyway, and Pearson's asking for the offside flag. Held his line well there, Matty Pearson, as Morton tried to get onto that ball. Lee Nichols wastes no time, feeds the ball into Lewis O'Brien, who finds Jonathan Hogg. Hogg to O'Brien. O'Brien has got Dwayne Holmes for company. It's a good ball clipped into Harry Toffolo. Great stuff from Lewis O'Brien. Good forward run from Harry, as usual. Rolls the ball back to Sorba Thomas. He's got Lewis O'Brien inside, and he tries to get onto the return pass, but it's not a good one from Lewis on this occasion. Good battle there between Morton and Levi Colwill. Thomas tries to flick the ball inside Holgate, the right-sided centre-half. He tries to then give it to Toffolo, and Toffolo plays the ball off the centre-back for another corner to Town. Town do have a sub still on the bench. Ben Jackson, the left-sided B-team player. Still have Nick Belokovic, the third keeper, on duty here tonight as well, if anything were to happen to Lee Nichols. Hopefully it doesn't, of course. Deep one from Thomas again, and Matty Pearson was right there then. That looked like a handball to me, although it's gone against Pearson actually. Hoping for a second that hand was from a Fleetwood defender, but it was Matty Pearson who was attacking that aggressively, just got his arm on it before his head, unfortunately. Fleetwood taking the time over this set piece. Jordan Rossiter, the captain, just clipped the ball forward there, wasting a bit of time, letting his side get up the pitch. Hogg does well to win the first header ahead of his man, and then Toffolo comes out second best on that 50-50 with Halliday, but then wins the ball back brilliantly. Harry Toffolo, well done, the Town left back. And now here's Sorba Thomas, who plays a great ball into Toffolo, who's got forward. Toffolo with a deep cross, and Dwayne Holmes is the man. It's actually hit Dwayne. He's a bit unlucky there, the Town midfielder, because Danny Andrew, the left-sided centre-half, actually got a little flick on that, and it just took it out of Dwayne's path. But good attacking play from Town there, down the left. About 20 minutes left here if you are just joining us, if you've been otherwise engaged. It is Fleetwood 2, Huddersfield Town 0, unfortunately, for those of us with a Town persuasion. Town have dominated this second half in particular, but haven't managed to get on the score sheet yet. There is still time. After wholesale changes on the hour marks brought a lot of Town's senior players onto the pitch. Here's one of them, Ollie Turton. Turton just couldn't quite get that ball under control, had to go back to Matty Pearson in the end. Pearson's got Turton on his outside still. Danny Ward comes short for a pass, but Fleetwood really compressing the centre of the pitch here, making it really hard for passers in the middle of the pitch between their two lines. The Town having to go wide and building from there, as we're seeing here, where O'Brien drifting out to the left-hand side, and Hogg finds Pearson. He's got Scott high for company, and Scott's got time to turn and move forward. Goes to Turton and moves forward. Turton comes in field. Here's Scott high, who's taken up a good position. Scott, there's definitely a shot there. Danny Ward almost ran across that shot. It's on Scott's weaker side. It goes well wide in the end, but it's good movement between High and Turton. Poor effort in the end, though, from Scott, unfortunately. Town fans behind the Alex Cairns' goal and happy here audibly, because Fleetwood are taking their time when they get the opportunity to slow play down now at 2-0 ahead, and don't think Town fans appreciate having made the hour-and-a-half journey from the HD postcodes tonight. Good big shout from Levi Colwell, and it's a good touch initially there from Danny Ward, but so Lee Nichols has come a long way there and just knees the ball out. He stood up in the turf, that ball over the top, and Lee just had to adjust there for a second. He was going to head it and then didn't bounce high enough, and done all right there, the Town custodian, in the end. Awkward figure, Morton, the striker who's come on. A real kind of gangly look to him, to be honest, but he uses his body well and just gets his body between the ball and the man. Matty Pearson's done really well there just to come away with the ball. That pass has asked a lot of Sorba Thomas, who's done battling hard there on the left-hand side, Sorba, and he's won his side of throw-in. He's done really well there, the winger. Lots of possession for Town here this second half, but still no goal to show for it. Danny Ward moving all over to try and find the ball, but basically running into players wherever he goes. If he comes short, he comes off the central defensive trio and then straight into midfield. There is Ward, who's running at full pelt to try and control that ball across the back line and just can't bring it down, unfortunately. Cairns drives another long one forward, and Levi Colwell's got a bit of space to head that one down, but it's returned towards Matty Pearson, and now Jordan Rossiter can bring it down for his side. Good little ball around the corner there from Paddy Lane, although Pearson wins the ball off Garner. Garner's not happy with the challenge, but he did just look to fall over there, to be honest. Falling on his arm, I think, there, Garner. He's just cradling it as play continues. Hopefully he's okay. Good pass from Hogg into O'Brien's path, who's found a bit of space on the left-hand side. Solid pass there from Hogg into O'Brien, and now O'Brien and Thomas release Toffolo. It's a first-time attempted cross towards Danny Ward, but Holgate's done pretty well there to stop that going out for a corner and only conceding a throw-in, but Town will get play right back underway here as Toffolo turns. Goes back to O'Brien in the end. Jonathan Hogg just looking for an infield pass. Dwayne Holmes has made his way all the way across the pitch to pick up possession there. He's come back for it here from Levi Colwell, and he does pick up the ball, Dwayne, and he gives it left to Jonathan Hogg, who's out there on the left-hand side. Dwayne Holmes, great 1-2 into Toffolo, then finds Sorba Thomas, who's come in field again. Now, all a bit compressed, no width for Town on the right-hand side, so they have to go back left, and it's Jonathan Hogg who's an unlikely furthest player wide there on the left-hand side. Town just all came in field there, couldn't find space, and there's going to be some subs for Fleetwood Town here, and that's the end of Jed Garner's night, the number 19, the striker. He'll be replaced by Chris Con Clark, the number 10. Round of applause for Garner, who scored a very well-taken second goal here for Fleetwood tonight. It's also the end of number 2, Brad Halliday's night, the experienced right-back. He's going to be replaced by Carl Johnston, who's one of a few Northern Irish youngsters on Fleetwood's books. He's a midfielder, Johnston, generally, although might be able to play right wing-back. He is going straight into that position. And the final change looks to be Max Clark, the 28, who's coming off on this near side. He's going to be replaced by number 14, Max McMillan, who's a former Leeds United youngster. 15 minutes left here at Highbury Stadium. It is Fleetwood 2, Huddersfield Town 0 still. It's going to restart with Alex Cairns, the Fleetwood keeper. Yeah, good play from Toffolo there to shadow the ball out. And Town have possession once again with Levi Colwell. Like the Colville and Pearson centre-half partnership, the lot of experience for Matty Pearson to make up for Levi's relative lack of, and hell of a lot of athleticism as well from Levi Colwell. Good in possession too. Not that Matty Pearson's a slouch in that either of those fronts, but Levi certainly one of the quicker defenders we've had, and great pass against Lewis O'Brien. Quickly moved the ball into that midfield third. Fleetwood working really hard in defence here. Good pass again from Colwell into Scott High. Scott with a fantastic ball in behind the fullback for Ollie Turton. Taunton tries to drive that, but fair play to Paddy Lane. He recovered well there, the winger. Fantastic pass from Scott High. High is the defensive man from these corners. He's Dwayne Holmes and Scott High are the defensive two. Everyone else in and around the penalty area for Sorba Thomas to aim for. Can Thomas find a Town head? He crosses towards Pearson. Flicked up in the air by James Hill, who's done really well actually, the centre-back. And Holmes retrieves possession, and High gives it to Sorba Thomas. And Thomas, he's only really got one man in the box now because everyone else has regained the shape. And it's a poor ball from Sorba on this occasion. He tried to find Hogg. Good play, Scott High, however, and he wins the ball back for his side. And Ollie Turton's in possession now, and he's Sorba Thomas is dragged down by a defender, but referee wants to play on, and now Sorba finds Ollie Turton down the right hand side. Turton with a cross, good ball towards Danny Ward, and now it drops to Lewis O'Brien, who shoots on his right, and that's Town's first goal of the evening, and that's a lifeline in terms of this friendly scoreline. Lewis O'Brien with the low right-footed shot that gave Cairns absolutely no chance. Town have deserved that, I think, on the balance of play this second half. Been in control of this game since the senior lads came on, and that's a goal to show for it. Good, well taken effort on his right hand side there from Lewis O'Brien. Good play down this right-hand side. Good cross from Turton that Ward was close to turning home. And then O'Brien live to the second, and that's Town on the score sheet tonight. Good win from Pearson there. Just what I talked about with Josh Osterfield first half. Just welcomed the contact from Morton. Just rode it and then won the first header. Really good stuff from Matty Pearson. Pearson under control there. Great ball inside to Lewis O'Brien as well, who shrugs Biggins off the ball. And now Toffolo with a low ball first time into the box towards Ward, who was trying to get across the near post, but well done Alex Cairns, the goalkeeper. Really well taken goal from Lewis O'Brien, that there. Low drive into the bottom corner. Good feeling to see Town on the score sheet tonight. Fleetwood really struggling to keep hold of the ball here now as Town are turning the screw, and that's a good ball from Colwell, clipped into the channel where Lewis O'Brien crosses. Ward had gone near post, but Dwayne Holmes has showed great pace to get to that ball actually, and he's kept the attack alive. Oh, high again with a fantastic ball into Turton. It's across the box, but this time Biggins can clear. Fantastic stuff from Town there. Matty Pearson quickly across to try and keep this attack alive. Hogg wants it short, but he's being monitored there by a Fleetwood man, so he just thinks better of it. He's actually going to receive it from Turton. Oh, that's just clipped in front of Turton from Holmes there. Right idea, but Ollie just on his heels slightly there, having taken the throw-in. Really interesting to see Hogg and Pearson orchestrating Town defensive line. Fleetwood taking the merry time over this throw-in here as they're just trying to see out this win. I'm sure it'll be a big boost to them in pre-season. Andrew with a long one forward, straight onto the head of Ollie Turton. He's got that one a bit wrong there, Ollie. He's just... apologies if you can hear Matty Pearson giving his thoughts on what should have happened there. Good head from Hogg down in to find O'Brien and keep possession for his side. And now here's Harry Toffolo, receives the pass from Colwell and strides over halfway. Toffolo just waiting for the run of Sorba Thomas, but he can't find the pass, so he just knocks it back to O'Brien. O'Brien tries to find High, but High then ran off the ball. Good play from Lewis O'Brien, although equally good reactions from, look at Sorba Thomas trying to win the ball back for his side. Really good stuff from Sorba, and then Hogg does win it back, and Sorba Thomas is able to open the pitch out. Now here's Dwayne Holmes, just checks back. He's got Turton on his outside if he wants to pass. He's also got Scott High for company. Here is Turton. Just these three players out on the right, but they're making a good fist of it, to be fair. And then Dwayne Holmes fakes inside, goes outside to Turton. Turton crosses. A good ball again towards Ward, just above the Town striker, and that goes out for yet another corner to the men in navy. Turton's delivery's been good, you know, this pre-season. Known more for his defensive work than his attacking prowess, but he's shown a real aptitude to adapt to what we ask of our right-backs, and is... be a great options for Carlos Corberan this season, him and Pippa down this right-hand side. Come on, Town, can we get back into this now? Just be a nice note to finish pre-season on. Players poised on the penalty spot. They make the moves now. Sorba Thomas crosses. It's onto the head of Hill, who does really well, but the second ball goes out to O'Brien, and unfortunately his shot on his favoured left foot is not as good as his goal on his right. That one goes right over the Percy Ronson stand. Town, and this game is in need of a new ball. Matty Pearson asking the referee how long Fleetwood are taking over this set piece. I do like Matty Pearson. He's from Keighley, Matty. Strongest West Yorkshire accent you could wish to hear. He hasn't lost it in his time at Luton. Barking orders at his teammates and the referee. Good win from Colwell again, fantastic header, and now Ward trying to get onto the end of that, and Danny Ward's shoved into the Town fans by the defender. Just a little high five between the defender and Danny Ward there, no hard feelings. Good strong defending there from Hill. Really trimmed this pre-season, Danny Ward. Came back with one of the lowest body fat figures of any Town player when we did the pre-season testing, and he's moving well, you have to say. When he's running those channels, he looks like the 21-year-old Danny Ward that joined Town on loan from Bolton Wanderers all those years ago. Just love to see him get back in the goals, Danny Ward. Important season for him. He missed so much of last season through injury. No, he's keen to show what he can do Now the Town fans are back in the crowd. Town just getting compressed here. That's a great ball from O'Brien. A good run from Thomas too, who's gone in behind. Sorba comes in field. He's dropped the ball to Jonathan Hogg, of all people, who hits a low drive goalwards, but Cairns able to fall on it down to his right-hand side. Jonathan Hogg, a rare scorer in Town colours. Gets a big cheer for his effort there, Jonathan. The newly appointed Town skipper. Kept it on target, but relatively routine save for Cairns in the end. There's Hogg doing what you're more used to see him doing, winning an important header as the ball comes forward, and now Turton into Ward. Good ball from Turton. Ward's got 3 for company, but finds Hogg well. Here is Turton, who's able to get up the pitch. He's got Holmes for company. O'Brien's made a little move in behind, but he's definitely offside there, Lewis. Couldn't go after that one from Turton. Didn't read the situation well, unfortunately. Levi Colwill, a big voice on the pitch there, just encouraging his teammates to keep going. Love that. It's a friendly. Matty Pearson saying, come on, we need a goal. That's the attitude from these guys. Why the hell not? Colwill challenges with Morton. He wins another great header, Levi. Oh, he's given a free kick. No doubt it hurt Callum Morton. You know, it was a robust challenge from Levi Colwill, but I don't know. Glad to see Morton's okay in any case. Referee actually asked for the physio, and then Callum Morton just got up and carried on. In fact, he is going over now, Callum Morton, to might have some blood on the back of his head or something. I don't know. Matty Pearson commanding the defensive line here, and Colwill just allows the number 14 to run offside. Looks like this ball's going to be dropped in behind the Town defensive line. Indeed, that's the idea. Toffolo's going to be first there, and he just bumps the number 14 off the ball. Good strong defending there from Toffolo to ensure McMillan couldn't get there. Town back in possession again, and Nichols quickly gets us underway to Pearson, who's charged out to this right-hand side to receive the ball. Colwill under pressure from Callum Morton, couldn't care less, just drives forward and gives the ball back. So calm in position, Levi Colwill. Good play from Holmes just to drop the ball into Turton, and then High spreads the ball out to Dwayne Holmes again. Town have got good numbers forward here, and Jonathan Hogg's backing them up, and Hogg spreads the ball out to the left for Harry Toffolo. Toffolo into Sorba Thomas. Thomas jinks one way then the other, trying to find space for the cross, but got 2 men on him and instead wins the corner. Town send the big men forward again. Colwill won about 3 corners at Norwich the other night. Instead, Town take it short, and Sorba Thomas drifts one towards Matty Pearson, who takes it down on his chest, tries to volley, and it's a great block, to be fair, from Danny Andrew, the number 3. Pearson's eyes lit up there when that ball dropped onto his chest, but it's good last-ditch defending from Danny Andrew, and it's another corner to Town now on the right-hand side. Another ball required. Turton showing short for Thomas, excuse me. Only a handful of minutes left here for Town to get back on level terms. Thomas drifts one in. It's a good header from Hill again, who's done well since he's come on. But Dwayne Holmes wins the second ball and gives it to Thomas. Goes there to get the ball back from Sorba. Just checks back onto his left there. It's a shame, because I thought the crossing opportunity might have been on. But Dwayne now goes onto his right foot and does cross. It's a good stood-up ball towards Colwill, and it's a great header from Andrew again, the experienced defender. And it's gone out for a throw-in down by the corner flag. Town just regaining the shape here slightly as Toffolo looks for options for this throw-in. Levi Colwill showing interest, but it's a good throw to Lewis O'Brien in the end. O'Brien into Toffolo. Fleetwood looking for offside, but Toffs was onside. Holmes looks to come back outside, but he then checks back onto his left and gives the ball to Sorba Thomas. Thomas sees a man to aim for, but the cross is too low, and it's Jonathan Hogg gives it to Matty Pearson, who stayed upfield here from the set piece. Here's Lewis O'Brien, just plays a 1-2 with Hogg, but Hogg not ready to receive that one and just doesn't get it right. Levi Colwill will sweep up here with McClellan in close attendance, just goes one way and the other and just keeps possession of the ball. Looks a class act, Levi Colwell. I'm excited to see him this year. Hogg's going to look for the switch here, you can see that, and he's going to try and drift this in behind the right back, but Toffolo, it's just too far ahead of him and he just puts the hand of apology up there, Jonathan Hogg. We're heading into added time here if we're going to have any. I can't really remember a stoppage, to be honest. In the final minute of normal time, Shaden Morris, the first goal scorer, gets the man of the match from the home sponsors, and I can see that. He's had a very good first half, Morris. Long throw from James Hill, but it's straight onto the head of O'Brien. Andrew wins the second header, and then O'Brien wins the ball. He's then caught by the man and then concedes a free kick. Both players felt that. It was a high feat from both, you have to say. And quite how Lewis, when he's won the ball, then gets a free kick against him. Answers on a postcard. Cairns going to send this one long. We are in the last 20 seconds of regular time here now, so this could be the last action of the game, in fairness. Cairns is going to take all the time he needs to drive this one long. He's going to drift out to the right-hand side, and Toffolo has to knock the ball dead for a throw-in to Fleetwood. As a reminder, Town's competitive season gets underway with the Carabao Cup this Sunday. Town at Sheffield Wednesday at Hillsborough at 1 p.m. Tickets are on sale, on general sale now for the big away end at Hillsborough. Just as Morton rolls in field here for a second, gives it to teammate Fleetwood, just trying to keep the ball here in the final seconds. Andrew takes no chances, just half volleys the ball out towards the wing, and that's the end of the game. It is Fleetwood Town 2, Huddersfield Town 1. So Town end the season or pre-season schedule on a bit of a low with a defeat here to our League One hosts. What I would say is when the senior players came on for the last half an hour, that's when Town scored through Lewis O'Brien. Good luck to Fleetwood for the Sky Bet League One campaign, and Simon Grayson, of course, the former Town manager. Town season gets underway at Hillsborough on Sunday. Carabao Cup Round 1 action. Sheffield Wednesday versus Huddersfield Town. Tickets on sale now, £15 for adults. You can get them on htfc.com/tickets. We'll see you all at Hillsborough, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on HTTV this pre-season. We'll see you when the real action gets underway this weekend.